Imagine a 9-year-old girl safe in her bed at home. It's the middle of the night, a storm is raging outside, thunder crashes, rain pounds the windows, and then, for reasons nobody understands, she gets out of bed, walks into that storm, and disappears forever. This is the true story of Asha Degree. On February 14th, 2000, Valentine's Day, a little girl left her home during a thunderstorm and vanished without a trace. What happened to Asha? And why would a shy, happy child walk into a storm alone? This is Cold Trail. Asha Degree was 9 years old in February of 2000. She lived in Shelby, North Carolina, a small town of about 20,000 people. Asha was a 4th grader at Falston Elementary School. Teachers described her as a good student, quiet, well-behaved, and sweet. She lived with her parents, Harold and Aquila, and her older brother, O'Brien. The Degree family was close-knit, religious, and deeply involved in their community. This was not a troubled home. Asha loved basketball and had a normal, happy childhood. Nothing suggested she was unhappy or wanted to run away. Sunday, February 13th, 2000 started normally. Asha went to church with her family, then attended her aunt's birthday party. That evening, they came home and settled in. Around 8 p.m., the power went out due to a storm rolling in. The family lit candles and waited. Eventually, power returned. Around 9 p.m., Asha and O'Brien went to bed. They shared a bedroom. Their parents checked on them before sleeping. Everything seemed normal. The children were safe, the doors were locked. The storm grew stronger, but inside the Degree home, everyone was asleep, or so they thought. Harold Degree woke up around 2:30 a.m. to use the bathroom. Half asleep, he glanced into the children's bedroom. He saw both kids in their beds. Everything looked fine. He went back to sleep. But Harold was mistaken. What he saw in the darkness wasn't Asha. It was pillows arranged to look like she was sleeping. Asha was already gone. Between midnight and 2:30 a.m., while her family slept, 9-year-old Asha got dressed, packed her backpack, and walked out into the freezing rain. Alone. Why would a child terrified of the dark do this? What could make a 9-year-old risk everything? Monday morning, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Harold and Aquila's alarm went off at 5:30 a.m. Aquila went to wake the children for school. She walked into their bedroom and knew immediately something was horribly wrong. O'Brien was asleep, but Asha's bed was empty. Aquila thought maybe Asha got up early, but a quick search revealed the truth. Asha wasn't anywhere. The front door was unlocked. Asha's coat hung in the closet, but her backpack was gone. In the middle of winter, during a rainstorm, their daughter had left without a coat. They called police immediately. By 6:30 a.m., law enforcement launched a search. 2 drivers came forward with shocking information. They had seen a young girl walking alone on Highway 18, about a mile from the Degree home, around 3:30 to 4 a.m. during the height of the storm. A truck driver saw her first. His headlights caught a small figure in light clothing, walking south in the pouring rain. He thought it was strange but didn't stop. The second witness saw something even more disturbing. When his car approached, the girl seemed startled. She ran, not toward the car for help. She ran into the woods, vanishing into the trees and darkness. Why would Asha run from help? Law enforcement launched one of the largest search efforts in North Carolina history. Hundreds of volunteers, police, firefighters, and search teams combed the area. They searched the woods where Asha was last seen. They used helicopters, search dogs, and thermal imaging. They searched abandoned buildings, drainage ditches, rivers, and ponds. The community rallied. Churches held vigils. Volunteers handed out flyers. The case made national news. Searchers found items in a shed near Highway 18. Candy wrappers, a pencil, and a marker that belonged to Asha. She had taken shelter there, then left again. Why didn't she stay? Why didn't she go home? Despite the massive effort, no further trace was found. The case went cold. Months passed with no leads. Asha's family never stopped searching. And then, in August 2001, a year and a half later, construction workers were clearing land along Highway 18, 26 miles north of where Asha was last seen. One worker noticed something buried in the dirt. It was a book bag, wrapped tightly in 2 plastic garbage bags, deliberately preserved and hidden. When authorities opened it, they found Asha's backpack. Inside were her belongings, a shirt with her name, family photographs, and personal items. The backpack had been intentionally buried. Someone had taken Asha. Someone kept her backpack and buried it a year later. Investigators analyzed everything in Asha's backpack. Inside were clothing, including her basketball team shirt, family photographs, school supplies, and one item that didn't belong to the Degree family, a children's book. It was a Dr. Seuss book called McElligot's Pool. Asha's parents had never seen it before. Where did she get this book? Did someone give it to her? Was it used to lure her? Police couldn't trace its origin. They also found a photograph of Asha with an unknown young girl, not part of her family or friends. Who was this child? Police released the photo publicly, but no one came forward. The mystery deepened. One leading theory is that Asha was groomed by someone she trusted. Grooming is when a predator builds a relationship with a child, gaining their trust, then manipulating them into dangerous situations. Investigators examined all adults in Asha's life: teachers, coaches, church members, family friends, neighbors. They found no evidence of inappropriate behavior. Everyone was investigated and cleared. But investigators believe someone befriended Asha, gave her gifts like the book, and convinced her that leaving home was okay, maybe even an adventure. This would explain why a shy child afraid of the dark would walk into a storm. She may have believed she was meeting someone she trusted. When she ran from the headlights, she may have been trying to reach that person. Another strange detail: the power outage the night Asha disappeared. Around 8 p.m. on February 13th, power went out in the neighborhood due to the storm. It stayed out for a while before returning. Some investigators wonder, was this just coincidence or connected to Asha's disappearance? Did someone use the darkness to communicate with Asha through a window or door? During the outage, the family lit candles and stayed together. The children went to bed. But could someone have made contact with Asha without her parents knowing? If someone had been grooming her and told her to leave at a specific time, the storm and outage might have been part of the plan. Asha's disappearance may have been carefully planned. Why did Asha leave? What could make a 9-year-old afraid of the dark and dogs walk into a dangerous storm? Some theorize she was upset about her basketball team losing, but people who knew her said this doesn't make sense. She wasn't the type to overreact. Her parents were supportive, not punishing. Others suggested sleepwalking, but she packed a backpack, got dressed, and traveled over a mile. That shows purpose, not confusion. The most likely explanation: Asha left because she believed she was supposed to. Someone convinced her it was okay, that it was safe, that she was meeting them. Whether it was an adventure or something else, Asha trusted this person enough to take an enormous risk. Some have focused on Asha's basketball game the Friday before she disappeared. Her team lost, and Asha apparently struck out during the game. Some speculated this upset her deeply, but those who knew Asha said she wasn't devastated by the loss. Her parents were encouraging, not critical. Her coach said she was fine after the game. However, investigators have wondered if someone used that moment of disappointment to manipulate her. Did someone tell her she could prove herself? That she could be brave? That leaving would show everyone she was strong? If someone was grooming Asha, they might have used her vulnerability after the loss to their advantage. It's a theory that haunts investigators to this day. In 2016, the FBI released new information. They were looking for a dark green early 1970s Lincoln Continental Mark IV or Ford Thunderbird that was seen in the area around the time of Asha's disappearance. Witnesses reported seeing this vehicle driving near Highway 18 on the night Asha vanished. Investigators believe the car may be connected to her disappearance. They released sketches and photos of similar vehicles, asking anyone who remembered seeing this car or knew who owned one to come forward. This was a significant development. It suggested investigators had zeroed in on a suspect or person of interest, but as of today, no one has been arrested in connection with the vehicle. Over the years, investigators have pursued countless leads. In 2016, the FBI offered a reward of $25,000 for information. They confirmed Asha's disappearance was a criminal act, not an accident. In 2018, authorities conducted a major search of a property in Shelby. They brought cadaver dogs and excavation equipment. They searched for days, but results have never been publicly disclosed. In 2021, the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office announced new leads and re-interviewed witnesses. They urged anyone with information to come forward. Someone knows what happened. Investigators believe that person could still be in the Shelby area, living normally, while Asha's family suffers. Without concrete evidence, no charges have been filed. The person responsible remains free. The Shelby community has never forgotten Asha Degree. Every year on her birthday and on the anniversary of her disappearance, vigils are held. Community members gather to remember the little girl who vanished into a storm. They hold candles, share memories, and remind the public that this case is not closed. Local businesses display posters. Churches pray for the family. Schools teach new generations about Asha's story. The hope is that keeping her case alive will eventually lead to a breakthrough. Someone in that community knows something. Someone may have seen something, heard something, or suspects someone. The community's persistence sends a message. We have not forgotten. We will not stop until Asha comes home. Harold and Aquila Degree have never given up hope. For over 2 decades, they've kept Asha's case in the public eye, appearing on television, giving interviews, and working with investigators. They still live in the same house. Asha's bedroom remains largely untouched, a shrine to a little girl who never came home. O'Brien, Asha's brother, was only 10 when she disappeared. He's grown up carrying the weight of that night, the guilt of being asleep when she left. He's spoken publicly about the pain of losing his sister and the hope for answers. The Degree family's strength is remarkable. They refuse to let Asha be forgotten. They refuse to stop fighting for justice. Asha would be 34 years old today. If she's alive, she could be living somewhere, possibly unaware of her true identity, or held against her will. There have been cases where kidnapped children were found decades later, living under different names, completely disconnected from their past. Could Asha be out there? Could she have been taken far away, raised by someone else, told lies about her family? Or could she be in a situation where she's unable to escape or speak out? These are painful questions with no answers, but the possibility, however slim, keeps her family hoping. DNA. Technology improves every year. Cold cases are solved decades later. Witnesses find courage to speak. The truth can still emerge. The Cleveland County Sheriff's Office and the FBI continue to investigate Asha's case. They believe it can be solved. They believe someone knows what happened. If you have any information, no matter how small or insignificant it seems, please contact authorities. Maybe you saw something that night. Maybe you heard someone mention Asha. Maybe you know someone who acted strangely around that time. Maybe you own or knew someone who owned a dark green 70s Lincoln or Thunderbird. Your information could be the missing piece. Asha's family deserves answers. Asha deserves justice. Someone out there holds the key to solving this mystery. It's time for the truth to come out. It's time to bring Asha home. On February 14th, 2000, a 9-year-old girl walked into a storm and vanished. The trail went cold on Highway 18 in Shelby, North Carolina. But hope is not lost. Asha Degree's story continues to touch hearts across America. Her family continues to fight. Her community continues to remember. And somewhere, somehow, the truth is waiting to be uncovered. If you have any information about the disappearance of Asha Degree, please contact the Cleveland County Sheriff's Office or the FBI tip line. This has been Cold Trail, where we follow the fading footprints of America's most mysterious cases. Some trails may go cold, but they are never forgotten. Subscribe and join us. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and never stop asking questions.
Thanks for watching.